Do you ever feel like something is wrong with your life, but you can't quite point to where it began? Like there's an invisible hand arranging the walls around you, shaping your days, deciding what is possible for you, long before you even knew the rules of the game? I'm not talking about governments, or bosses, or even money. I'm talking about the quiet, subtle prison that's been inside you since you were a child. And the strangest part? You built it yourself, not willingly, not knowingly, but piece by piece, through every lesson, every approval, every punishment, you constructed it. And now, you live inside it, calling it your life, never realizing it's the bars you've been gripping, not the view beyond them. Today, I want to show you those bars. And I warn you, once you see them, you can't unsee them. The German theologian Dietrich Bonhoeffer once said, "The ultimate test of a moral society is the kind of world it leaves to its children." But what if the world you were handed was already poisoned? From the moment you were born, you were placed in a world designed for order, not for truth. Your parents, without meaning to, passed on their fears as if they were gifts. Your teachers, without intending harm, taught obedience over curiosity. And society, like an invisible sculptor, carved your mind into something that fits rather than something that thrives. Nietzsche called this the taming of man, the process where wildness is beaten into civility and individuality is sacrificed for predictability. It starts small. A child laughs too loudly. Be quiet. A child asks too many questions. Stop interrupting. A child dreams too wildly. Be realistic. And so you learned that certain parts of yourself were wrong. You trimmed the edges of your personality just to be accepted. And you called this growing up. Plato's allegory of the cave wasn't just about philosophy, it was about you. Imagine people chained in a dark cave from birth, facing a wall. Behind them, a fire burns, and in front of the fire, figures move, casting shadows on the wall. Those shadows become the prisoner's reality. They believe the shadows are the world because it's all they've ever known. Now replace the cave with your own mind. The shadows, they are the ideas you've been fed about success, happiness, love, and meaning. The chains, they are your fears, your insecurities, your learned beliefs about what you can and cannot do. Plato warned that most people never leave the cave because freedom is terrifying. The light outside is blinding at first. It strips away the illusions that once gave you comfort. And most people would rather live in the comfort of lies than face the chaos of truth. Michel Foucault wrote about the disciplinary society, where people are trained to regulate themselves, not through force but through conditioning. And you are a perfect example of this. School didn't just teach you math or history. It taught you how to sit still for hours, obey authority, and measure your worth through grades. Work didn't just give you a paycheck, it gave you an identity tied to productivity. And social media, it didn't just connect you, it turned your life into a performance where every post is a plea for validation. You were told, work hard, save money, and you'll be free. But the more you work, the more your expenses grow. The more you save, the more prices rise. The more you chase freedom, the more you feel trapped. This isn't an accident. It's a system that survives only when you stay inside it. Niccolò Machiavelli wrote in The Prince that it is better for a ruler to be feared than loved if one cannot be both. But in modern times, fear isn't delivered with swords and armies. It's delivered with self-doubt and uncertainty. If you've ever thought, I can't quit my job, it's too risky. I can't speak my mind, they won't like me. I can't chase my dream, it's too late. Then you've already felt this control at work. It's not about stopping you physically, it's about making you stop yourself. Psychologists call this learned helplessness, the belief that no matter what you do, the outcome will be the same. And so you give up before you even try. Here's the truth no one tells you. Most people don't want to be free. Freedom sounds beautiful, but in reality it's terrifying, because freedom means you can't blame anyone else anymore. You can't hide behind the system or bad luck. You are fully responsible for what happens next. And deep down, many prefer the safety of being controlled, because then they can say, "It's not my fault." Nietzsche wrote about this in his idea of the last man, the creature who seeks only comfort, safety, and small pleasures, avoiding all risk, all greatness, all real living. The last man doesn't want truth. He wants entertainment. He doesn't want challenge. He wants distraction. The question is, are you living like the last man? So how do you escape? Not by running away from society, not by burning everything to the ground, but by starting with the smallest act of rebellion, refusing to live on autopilot. Question everything. Why do you wake up at the time you do? Why do you spend your evenings the way you do? Why do you believe what you believe? Do something each day that your cave self would never dare to do. Say the thing you've been holding back. Try the thing you've been told is impossible. Spend an hour alone with no phone, no noise, no distraction, and see what surfaces. Freedom isn't one big leap. It's 1,000 small steps away from the walls you've built. At the end of his life, Socrates was sentenced to death for corrupting the youth with his questions. He could have escaped. His friends offered him the chance, but he chose to drink the poison, because living without truth to him was worse than dying with it. And that's the choice you face every day. Will you stay in the cave, watching shadows, living a life handed to you by others? Or will you turn around, face the blinding light, and start walking, no matter how uncertain the road? Because here's the truth. The bars around you are not locked. They never were. You've just been sitting there so long and you forgot you could stand up. Pause, soft but cutting tone. The prison is in your mind, and the key has always been in your hands. There's a dangerous drug that almost everyone is addicted to. It's not alcohol, not nicotine, not caffeine. It's comfort. Comfort is warm. Comfort is safe. Comfort tells you, you've done enough for today. Just rest. And rest is important until you realize you've been resting for years. The Stoics warned about this. Seneca said, "We are always complaining that our days are few and acting as though there will be no end of them." Comfort blinds you to the truth. Your time is slipping through your fingers like sand and you're trading it for small moments of ease. Why is comfort so dangerous? Because it gives you the illusion that you're okay, while your dreams quietly rot in the background. From birth, you've been staring into a mirror, but it's not your reflection you've been seeing. It's the reflection others have shown you. When people called you shy, you began to act shy. When someone told you, you're not good with numbers, you stopped trying. When you were praised for being the responsible one, you became terrified of making mistakes. Psychologists call this the looking glass self, the idea that you shape your identity based on how you believe others see you. This means your self is, in large part, a collection of other people's opinions. The tragedy? Many people die without ever meeting their real selves, only the version they were told to be. You've been told that society is advancing, that technology, wealth, and comfort are proof that life is better than ever. But here's the uncomfortable question. If everything is getting better, why are so many people miserable? Nietzsche would say it's because progress without meaning is hollow. We have faster communication, but shallower conversations. We have more entertainment, but less joy. We have more friends online, but fewer genuine connections in reality. This is the cruel trick of modern life. It convinces you you're moving forward, when in truth, you're walking in circles, inside a beautifully decorated cage. Every major decision you've made in life has been influenced by one of two forces, desire or fear. And for most people, fear wins. Fear is subtle. It hides inside practical choices. You didn't take the job you wanted because it was too risky. You didn't speak up because it wasn't the right time. You didn't travel because you needed to save money. Fear dresses itself as wisdom, but Machiavelli would tell you, fear is a tool of control. The system doesn't have to force you into submission. It just has to keep you afraid of what will happen if you step out of line. Plato feared that too much entertainment would make people forget about truth. If he could see the modern world, he'd realize it's worse than he imagined. Entire industries exist to keep you distracted, from your phone to your streaming platforms to your news feeds. Not because entertainment is bad, but because constant entertainment keeps you too busy to notice your own chains. Foucault would call this a form of soft surveillance, keeping you docile not by force but by drowning you in noise. You become a prisoner who doesn't even want to escape because you're too busy scrolling. We all tell ourselves the same story. Someday I'll write that book. Someday I'll take that trip. Someday I'll change my life. But someday is a lie. It's a trick your brain plays to keep you from feeling guilty about not acting today. And the saddest part? For many people, someday becomes never. The philosopher Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Not tomorrow, not next year. Now." Every time you seek approval, you're handing over a piece of your freedom. When you post online and obsess over likes, you're teaching yourself that your worth depends on strangers' reactions. When you stay silent to avoid conflict, you're telling yourself that peace is worth more than truth. The danger isn't in wanting approval, it's in needing it. Because when you need it, you can be controlled by anyone willing to give or withhold it. In Japan, there's a book called The Courage to be Disliked, inspired by the ideas of philosopher Alfred Adler. Its message is simple. You cannot live a free life if you are constantly trying to please everyone. Every time you express your real thoughts, someone will disagree. Every time you chase your own path, someone will resent you. Every time you choose truth over comfort, someone will call you foolish. The question is, will you let that stop you? When all is said and done, it comes down to this. You can keep living the life handed to you, safe, predictable, and numb. Or you can risk discomfort, disapproval, and uncertainty for the sake of something real. Plato's prisoner could have stayed in the cave. Nietzsche's last man could have stayed in comfort. Bonhoeffer could have stayed silent during tyranny, but they didn't. And neither can you, if you want to live free. The bars around you are invisible. The walls are made of habits, fears, and illusions,